Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly rundown where we talk movies, TV, music, and video games. Not necessarily in that order. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
Can kind of do that sound. My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Thank you for joining us for the Media Boat Podcast this week. It is January the 23rd, 2026. Getting used to saying that. And it is episode 522. And yes, we know what you're saying right now. You're going to talk about the Oscar nominations, right? And yes, don't worry, we will. In fact, we're going to do it right away. Let's reverse, as Missy Elliott says, flip it and reverse it. The show this week and start with the movies section so we can talk about those wonderful Oscar noms. All right. But before we talk about that, we always start the movie section with the weekend box office numbers.
Yay! Now, how do we want to score this? Because we're both kind of wrong.
Started thinking maybe it's on my side, but you were very quiet just now, too. I don't know what's going on with your volume. This happened last week, too. I didn't mention it.
I'm not sure
There
because
we
it
go.
seems fine.
Now it's working. Is there something happening maybe that's like getting into your noise gate
I think
over
it's,
there?
yes, the noise gate that is my voice.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I thought it was like maybe construction is happening outside or something.
No, it's all pretty good here.
Any loud
Yeah, let's get
noises?
into it
Okay. I don't know.
with the
I,
box office.
I guess I'll just write it on my side. Okay. I'll turn you way up. Okay. Just don't blow out my ears. All right. Yes, we start, of course, the film section with the weekend box office numbers. And your number one movie, despite what we assumed last week, is still Avatar Fire and Ash to the tune of $14.5 million. That's at 363 million domestic. That means, sadly, we both take a loss this week as we were both wrong predicting that 28 years later, The Bone Temple would be number one.
I mean, I was right in that it was under the $28 million. But yes, we were both wrong at it being the number one, which is, of course, the prime candidate of did we get it right this week?
Right. So we got it wrong, very wrong. Instead, 28 years later, The Bone Temple came in at number two with $12.5 million this week. That's at 13 million so far domestic in its first big weekend. Number three is Utopia 2, $9.2 million. That's at 390. Number four, The Housemaid, 8.5 million again, or this week, 107 million. And number five, Oscar favorite Marty Supreme with another $5.5 million with a $79 million domestic total. All right. But before we talk about the nominations, we need to talk about some movies that are coming out this weekend.
Today, you can go out and see these movies in a movie theater.
Yes, if you're a video game fan, you might have this one on your horizon, and probably with a
It's
note,
not Horizon.
and probably with a note to not see it. Yes, it's another film adaptation of the Silent Hill franchise. This time, Return to Silent Hill. Early feedback says it sucks. No surprise here, but that's out this weekend. Against something called Mercy.
This is Chris Pratt in a race against the clock to prove he is innocent in an AI simulation.
Topical.
Very topical. Also
Very
produced by
topical.
Amazon. Maybe not that topical.
Maybe not. All right, there you go. Those are your two movies this weekend. Well, now I'm not sure what to do. Because I don't think either of these movies are your number one movie. So, do
Really.
we just assume Avatar again?
You could take Avatar. I'm going to take Mercy because of the power of Chris Pratt.
But the thing is that you telling me it existed just now is the first time I've ever heard of it.
That's okay. I think it can clear whatever $10 million Avatar is going to make.
Okay, all right. Fine. I'll take you up on that, actually. You can switch me to Mercy and I'll do let it. What number do we want to put on there then?
Oh, come on. I was fine just taking the number. I don't want to put a number on this.
No, you convinced me. I don't know. 15?
All right, we'll put 15.
Okay. You going
Uh,
under?
you know what? I think I went under last time, so I'm gonna go over this time. You can take the under.
All right, fair enough. All
And then
right, we'll
again, if
see how
Avatar
that.
repeats, we both get a loss.
Yep, we'll see how that shakes out next week. In the
But we gotta see what
meantime,
shake out from those Oscar nominations.
yes, exactly. In the meantime, we have nominations to talk about. So let's get into it. The big headline, of course, from the morning is that Sinners has earned a record breaking 16 Oscar nominations, followed closely by One Battle After Another, which picked up 13. With its 16 nods, Sinners has toppled the previous record of 14 nominations, which was held in a tie by All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. All of those movies, so two of those movies out of three, went on to win Best Picture, except, of course, for La La Land, although it did
Technically,
technically
it
for like
did.
3 seconds. But
It
that's
did,
not
and then it
important right now.
didn't.
Yeah. Both films were nominated for Best Picture at the 2026 Academy Awards, along with Frankenstein, Bugonia, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, Train Dreams, F1, and The Secret Agent.
That's a
Chloe Zhao,
full 10.
yes, the full 10. Chloe Zhao, a previous Best Director winner for her work on Nomadland, was nominated again for Best Director for Hamnet, alongside Ryan Coogler for Sinners, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. Best Actor will be a contest between Timothy Chalamet and Marty Supreme and One Battle After Another's Leonardo DiCaprio against Michael B. Jordan from Sinners, Ethan Hawke from Blue Moon, called that one, and Wagner Moura, who recently won a Golden Globe for his role in The Secret Agent. Hamnet's Jesse Buckley and If I Had Legs I'd Kick You's Rose Byrne, who have dominated the early awards conversation, earned Best Actress nominations and will go against two-time winner Emma Stone for Bugonia, as well as Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, and Renata Reinzev for Sentimental Value. The Oscars will air on ABC and will stream on Hulu on March 15th. Conan O'Brien will return for his second stint as the host. All right. I mean, this pretty much summed up the big headlines here. Also important to note that this is the debut of the Best Casting Oscar. This is the
Mhm.
first time that that has been there, which helped Sinners go over not just 15, but 16 nominations, which beats the record by a whole two, thanks to that extra award.
You say
Um,
that, but remember, back then, the sound mixing and sound
for
editing were
two
two separate
awards.
categories.
That's true.
So now that was one, it kind of makes it a wash.
But yeah, definitely very impressive job from Sinners and well deserved. I think that's a movie that kind of does fire on all of those cylinders, and so it's cool to
Mhm.
see it getting potentially awarded for all sorts of different kinds of movie making. So congratulations to them. As for the other ones, I mean, we pretty much figured that One Battle After Another would have a good showing. So that's not super surprising. I think for me, the only big surprises from the list were probably Kate Hudson getting in for a movie that I think was pretty widely panned, but she's still here for some reason. I'm trying to think what else I was
Yeah.
kind of
I guess we have to say
surprised by.
Oscar nominee Kate Hudson now.
You do. You have to say that. Academy Award nominee. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I don't know. Any big surprises for you?
Jesse Buckley getting the nomination, but not the co-star.
Hmm.
Paul Mescal.
Yeah, Paul Mescal, snubbed. Also of note, after a pretty decent Oscar showing last year, Wicked for Good completely snubbed for good this year. Didn't show up literally anywhere.
Yep. Nothing for Cynthia Erivo. Nothing for Ariana Grande. Not even in the
Mhm.
music category. Nothing.
No, no songs. The songs that Stephen Schwartz wrote specifically for an Oscar nomination here did not get even nominated. So too bad for Stephen Schwartz. No Oscar for you. What is here though is thankfully K-pop Demon Hunters and Golden.
Hmm.
It seems to be going in as the favorite, weirdly enough, which means Diane Warren will lose again,
As as is tradition at
as
this
is
point.
tradition. It wouldn't be an Oscars if Diane Warren didn't lose. So
Yes.
there you go.
But also, as we noted during our talk about Frankenstein, you see it everywhere in the production and production design categories.
Yes. We definitely called that really early on. I feel pretty confident that it will probably win the production design and maybe costuming, maybe even makeup. Who knows? It might do the trifecta, so we'll have to wait and see. What do
Yes.
you think about the casting category? Where do you think that's going to lean?
Um, I'm shocked that there is no Sarah Haley Finn listed
Mm, mm.
because she should be just given an honorary Oscar for all the work she did with Marvel. Just flat out give her the first one.
Yeah, well, no.
But no, I think Sinners goes here just because
Yeah.
of the phenomenal casting in every aspect of that movie. It does deserve all 16 nominations, but will it walk away with
Mm.
half of them?
No, I'm gonna say right now, no, definitive no, because looking at the where it's nominated, they're all very contentious categories. Unfortunately, it does seem like the momentum is in Paul Thomas Anderson's favor, so you're probably going to see him beating Ryan Coogler for director, and it's probably going to beat Sinners for Best Picture, unless there's a huge upset, which could happen. We've seen it before. I'm looking at you, Green Book. I think that there's also a possibility. I think Sinners is going to maybe thrive in some of the places that we don't necessarily think the other big names can succeed. Like I could see it in sound, for example. I could see it possibly even as a contender in visual effects, for example. I think that it's strong in some of the more technical and less competitive arenas. Maybe even something like editing.
Right. I mean, sound is definitely a big part of that
Yes,
movie.
I do think so.
The music and the score as well. So yeah, interesting to see where we line up and where we don't, because I think between the both of us, we're going to lean more towards one battle after another than
Hmm.
Sinners when it comes to some of these head-to-head matches.
I
Oh,
think
except for that
so.
acting
Yeah.
category. Are you still on Timothy Chalamet for Marty
I
Supreme?
still all for Timmy. I think he's going to take it. I mean, he won the Golden Globe recently. It probably will depend on where the chips fall with SAG and BAFTA. Those are the
Hmm.
big two to look forward to when you're talking about acting. So maybe we'll see there. Maybe where it ends up going.
All right. Any prop bets you want to place with Conan O'Brien?
That there will be props, yes.
Yes.
That's my favorite kind of prop bet. No, I don't know. I think he'll be good. I mean, he was entertaining last year. Looking forward to more skits, more excuses for him to do some song and dance for us. Yeah,
As he wants to.
as he
Yes.
is wont to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously we will have our predictions. When do you want to lock those in? If the telecast is March 15th. So the Friday of the podcast, the 13th.
Yep, that's when we're gonna lock it in.
Okay, I won't actually be in town that night.
Oh,
So we'll have to figure something out there. Yeah, we might
yep.
have to
Give me your
lock
list
in.
before I record then.
We might have to lock in. I might have to send you what I have or lock in on the 6th,
Yep.
depending. So yeah, let's pencil that in and we'll see what happens in March. But in the meantime, yeah, I think it's pretty strong, mostly pretty solid Oscar lineup here. I can't think of anything super shocking.
I
But
think one of the shocking thing is that Sinners being a movie that was released in March, May of last year, still continue to have the momentum to pick up all those Oscar nominations.
yeah,
Normally, when you see something that comes out in the middle of the year that has big box office numbers, we don't really see that translated to Oscar nominations,
yeah,
except with Everything Everywhere All at Once. When they came out in March, I told everyone to go see it, and they went on and win. So there is precedent for it.
yeah, there is precedent for that. So I don't know. We'll definitely see how that
Mhm.
works out. All right. That's it for movie news, except for one little tiny bit you wanted to add here. So the update on the Netflix buyout of Warner Brothers is that Netflix has now issued an all cash offer for WB, which was not the case prior. In fact, Paramount was the one doing making that offer
Mhm.
instead. Shareholders are going to vote on the $83 billion sale sometime before April of this year.
Yep. So that's the next update that we will have. The voting goes out by mail, by proxy,
Hmm.
by whatever investment you are using.
Carrier pigeon? I don't
Yes.
know.
And submit your vote for yay or nay on Warner Brothers, the institution of Warner Brothers, being sold to the techie conglomeration that is Netflix.
All right. We'll see if it happens.
All right.
Who can say?
Which, yeah, weird for Warner Brothers to one, be sold, but two, have not only their best year in the box office, but also the top two in Oscar nominations here with Sinners
Yeah.
and uh, One Battle After Another.
It's interesting timing. It's almost like something is trying to tell them, hey, movies still matter, and why are you selling yourselves to a tech company? Maybe something like that. All right, let's move on. You watched some movies, some Oscar nominated movies, in fact.
Technically, yes, this was an Oscar nominated movie.
Yeah.
I finally went and saw Avatar Fire and Ash.
Okay.
Uh, and I had to see it in the only way possible that that movie demands to be seen. IMAX 3D for the low cost of $60.
Okay.
Well, of
All
course,
right.
that's the ticket, the glasses, the
Yeah.
popcorn, and the drinks and the candy.
Oof, that's a big ticket.
It is a big ticket, but it's also a big movie because it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. So yeah, get that big popcorn, get that big drink, and settle in for a ride. And right from the opening sequence, it reminds you why you come to the movies. It reminds you why you see this thing in IMAX in 3D as you're soaring through the skies of Pandora. Also, a really great recap than the first 10 minutes, in case it's been a while since you've seen Way of Water when it
Well,
was in
that's good.
theaters.
That's good to know.
Not like an actual like screen, but like verbal, like talking like to the past self. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's what happened. Now I'm remembering I'm caught up here. So thank you for that. But also the ride that I'm in. It's a visual treat. It's fascinating. I love every visual aspect of this. Just watching it, it's like, oh yes, movie, cinema. This is great to look at. I don't really want to pay attention to the plot that much.
Okay, got
But
it.
every now and then I'm like, wow, this is a great shot. This is a great looking shot. Wow, this is great color. This is great aspect. This is like like reminds you that yes, movie theaters still need to be there are movies out there, James Cameron, who put these movies out to be seen on an IMAX screen, to be seen in this visual medium where you're only paying attention to the screen. Not
Mhm.
like you're watching it on your computer at home, on your phone, on your TV at home. That some things just demand to be seen in the best way possible. Avatar continues to be one of those movies. $1 billion says I am like most people agree with me in that. Even seeing
It
this thing
looks
on a
like it.
Tuesday night, that the theater was still halfly packed. I was like, okay, yeah, it's gonna make that $1.5 billion, close to
Oh yeah.
two, because it's an experience. It's something you need to see and be lived in and be immersed in the experience. And that's
Yeah.
what Avatar does really, really well. It also feels kind of like a bit of like a best hits from the first and second movie. And it's like, oh yeah, you like this part? Well, we're gonna redux it here. You like this part? Well, we're gonna redux it here, stitch it together, and you get fire and ash. It does feel like we could end it here, much like it does feel like we could have ended it after the first Avatar. But as we know, he will make Avatar 4 and 5, even though James Cameron is fleeing the country as we currently speak, according to news outlets.
Oh.
But yeah, it's fun, it's immersive, and if you're not going to see it in IMAX, you're going to see it improperly.
I mean, yeah. It seems like if you're going to, like, you are absolutely in on the Avatar experience if you've already seen it. And if you haven't, then yeah, you're probably just not going to be one of those people, which is fine. I feel like there's two very clear, there's a demarcated line between those kinds of people. And it's like you either are and you aren't. And that's fine. But in the meantime, like, though, it seems like the thing you talked about least was actually the movie itself. So do
Yes.
you think that it's not, so it doesn't sound like it's super surprising to not see it in Best Picture here, like to not see really the hype machine behind this thing being as strong as it maybe was in the past?
No, I mean, Avatar's strength was never its story. Avatar's strength was always its visuals.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Yeah. But that's not the
Yeah.
only movie I saw this week.
That's true.
And I would have hoped you would have seen this too, so we could talk about it
Haven't gotten around to
as
it.
Yorgos Lanthros.
Yep.
Once again, feels like he's an art student putting on a big budget movie.
I mean, is that not what he is?
And pretty much what he does at this time. Because Emma Stone in Bugonia gets that Oscar nomination as a tech CEO who was kidnapped. Uh, and by these two, I want to call them like tinfoil hat wearing kind of people because they believe Emma Stone is an alien
Oh,
who has come to ravage the planet for its resources.
sure.
And they know the truth. And they're going to convince Emma Stone's character to beam them up to the mothership in order to broker a peace treaty with the human race and these aliens. So you get the tinfoil hat wearing uh, kind of expose in this really oddball, quirky take on what it means to believe something wholeheartedly,
Sure.
what it means to like be so convinced in your own truth that no matter what everyone else says, that you know better than them, that you've, pardon the phrase, done your research, that that you are so well convinced in everything that you think that you have this unshakable momentum meeting up against actually like confronting what it is that you're actually doing. Would you actually go through with this? Would you actually like go through with actually kidnapping someone? Would you actually go through with like everything that you've read, that you've heard, that you're so convinced of? And it takes it up to its extreme conclusion.
Sure.
It's a fascinating watch. It's an interesting one, especially if you've seen his previous films. Uh, I mean, not really. Was it not really the favorite? I think that was the other one of
Hmm.
his. But
But poor things.
Poor Things. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of more aligned with Poor Things, where it's a bit of a fantastical journey, but it does try and ground itself in realism a bit too hard. So it can be a kind of a big pill to swallow, but it does it so well and so good, and cinematography and coloring is so key in this that it almost kind of demands a rewatch. And I say almost and kind of because you're either like, do you believe this guy? Do you not believe him? Is he full of bullshit or is he actually onto something? And it plays it so thin and so close that by the end you're like going, oh, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So yeah,
Mm.
it's just I can't really get to the ending of like how it ends, but it's definitely worth like a wow moment, and I can see why it's nominated for Best Picture. Won't win Best Picture for other reasons,
Yeah.
but yeah, Yorgos is the key of making really like thought-provoking pictures while also like having them like super grounded and also super fantastical, which is a really thin line to go with. Yeah, I kind of wish you would have watched it so we could talk more about it.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on getting some movies done tomorrow. This is on the list. I'm also trying to see where I can see Hamnet in a theater.
Yes.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna try to do that. Looks like my local one doesn't have showings until 4 p.m., which I'm like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose of doing it before Christie gets home. So, well, so I'm looking at other options. But yeah, like I'll probably get try to watch this before I lock in my nominations. And what else is on that list?
I think Sentimental Value and Train
Oh,
Dreams are both on Netflix. They're Netflix films.
are they? Because we are actually seeing Sentimental Value in a theater on Sunday this weekend. So
Okay, pretty sure that was the Netflix one. I know F1 is the Apple, so you can watch it on Apple.
yeah, that was
Bugonia is on
Apple.
Peacock. You can watch it there.
Yep.
Frankenstein is on Netflix. You can watch it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I didn't watch any movies. Like I said, I'll talk about some movies next week, I think.
All right, then.
All right, so that means let's move on to television. And we always start the television section with the sports corner. Take it
Do, do, do,
away.
do. And clock it now. We are 14 days away from the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, that is. But if you want your normal Summer Olympics, we are officially 900 days away from the
Yes.
first game. Not opening ceremonies, that's 903 days, but the first events happening 900 days away. The map and locations are up on the Olympic website for LA 28. You can go and look for where the locations of each event will be hosted, as well as the time and place.
Cool.
But Gold Zone will be back in 14 days. The best show on television.
Let's go, Gold Zone. I'm very
Yeah.
excited for the return of Gold Zone. Also,
Yes.
while we're still on the Olympics, I just found out just now that certain AMC theaters are going to have the opening ceremony in theaters.
Ooh.
Yeah, opening ceremony 10:45 in the morning on February 6th, which is a
February
Friday.
6th. Yes,
Yeah,
that's Friday.
sorry. It's Friday morning, so sorry. But yes,
Oh yeah,
that
because
is
that's
happening.
the live stream.
But yeah. So
So
there
yeah,
you go.
that's
You can
what
watch that if you
10
want.
a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. East Coast time for those of you in the US. That's because the Winter Olympics are in Milan. Wait, is it Milan?
Yes.
Yes, Milan.
Cortina
Cool.
Milan.
Yeah, Cortina. Delicious. All right. Well, let's bring it back stateside then, and let's talk about
Yes.
NFL. Two overtime games this past week, and it just proved once and for all why, if you win a whole lot of games for the regular season, you're most likely going to win a whole lot of games in the postseason. Because the number one seeded Broncos will take on the number two seeded Patriots in
Oh.
the AFC Championship. And the number one seeded Seahawks will take on the number five seeded Rams in the NFC Championship. That's
Oh.
right, the Bears were the only home team to lose this past weekend. Well, losing overtime because they did technically tie at the end of regulation in the most terrible way possible as a Rams fan. If you're a Bears fan, like it was fantastic for you. Like, oh my God, we could actually do this. And then overtime happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's shocking, but also not shocking because the Rams did have more wins than the Bears in the regular season. So my statement still rings true.
Yeah.
But yes, this does mean that it is an NFC West showdown, which, as we previously mentioned, had the best record in conference in the entire league. And now you have the number one, or yeah, the top two teams in the NFC, according to wins, going up against each other in the Rams versus Seahawks. And they will probably take on, winner of that game, the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Because after winning in a wild overtime fashion for the Broncos, Bo Nix is done. Out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury.
Aw.
happened on the penultimate play of the game, which is, of course, the second to last play of the game. And yeah, almost made it through the entire game unscathed, but nope. They will now be out. But the Patriots are not technically locked in just yet because the last one, the last time the Patriots played a backup quarterback, it was Nick Foles
Mm.
against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Number two, Bo Nix doesn't play on defense. So the Patriots offense still has to go against the number one ranked defense in the league in the Broncos. And number three, it's an away game for the Patriots. The Broncos are at home field advantage, not just in the snow, not just in the cold, but in the high altitude of Denver. So it's not going to be a simple walk in the park for the Patriots,
No.
especially because they got stud man over at the Broncos quarterback. That
Ho,
is
ho,
a
ho.
Garrett Stidham for you normal folks, but I call him, of course,
Ah,
the stud
got it.
man.
The stud
Garrett
man.
Studman, formerly of the Las Vegas Raiders, where he did start as a stud man for fantasy football. At least
Mr.
the weeks I
Stedman.
played him, Mr. Studman. So yeah, it'll be a great matchup this upcoming Sunday when both games will be played. AFC first, NFC night game.
Okay.
Oh, and just to add to the coaching carousel, the Bills have decided to fire Sean McDermott, their head coach. And I saw a post earlier today that former quarterback and current Hall of Fame nominee, still, Philip Rivers, actually interviewed for the head coaching job of the Bills.
Wow. There
Yes,
you
Mr.
go.
Rivers himself, Mr. P. Rivers needs another paycheck for his kids.
Hey, who doesn't?
It doesn't. I'll tell you who doesn't need a paycheck. Quarterback Fernando Mendoza, because in the D League Championship, the national championship for college
Mhm,
football,
mhm, mhm.
Indiana did the unthinkable and actually went undefeated in the season with a 26-21 thriller against Miami.
Oh.
So, congratulations. You've won the Heisman, you won the national championship, and you went undefeated. You could stay back and try and run it back again because Mark Cuban went out and said that, hey, if you stay back another year, I will pay you whatever the first number overall pick is, like salary, as your for an NIL deal. Well, he said no because he's officially declared for the draft, which means he will probably be the number one overall pick, which means he will be the Raiders because they are on the clock unless they trade out from that pick.
Ah,
Unlikely because the Raiders need a quarterback desperately. But you want to know what else the Raiders need?
what?
A head coach because they fired
Oh,
Pete Carroll.
oops.
So yeah, this now becomes an interesting opening of who wants the first round pick, who wants to first be a first year head coach for the Raiders, and who wants to be underneath Tom Brady breathing down their neck because he's part owner of the Raiders still.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah. All right. But yeah, enough about football. Let's talk about basketball because LeBron James has made history yet again, but not for the
no.
reason you're thinking.
Okay.
He, for the first time in his career, a monumental mistake has happened.
Uh-oh.
LeBron James is not listed as an All-Star game starter for the first time in 21 years, dating all the way back to 2005 when he joined the league.
Wow.
In his place, though, is Luka Doncic, his teammate, who will lead the Western Conference, who led the Western Conference in voting, and will be joined by Denver Nuggets center and overall famous GOAT person, Nikola Jokic, Oklahoma City Thunder, and current MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the big man in San Antonio of the Spurs himself, Victor Wembanyama, And just to rub salt in the wound, the Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry.
Aha.
Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo led the voting, as he typically does. He'll be
Hmm.
joined by New York Knicks guard Jalen Brunson, Philadelphia 76 guard Tyrese Maxey, Detroit Pistons guard Cade Cunningham, and Boston Celtics forward Jalen Brown. One side, it's got names I clearly recognize. The other side does not. Sorry, East Coast.
I
But that just shows you how the tides are turning in the NBA, and also that the West is better than the East. Sorry.
guess
Sorry, not
so.
sorry.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, that will be the All-Star game. That will be happening. LeBron will be on the team via coach's pick once all is said and done. But yeah, not going to be a starter. The streak is broken. 21 years. Good luck to anyone trying to beat that.
I guess so. Jeez.
All right. Let's see here. I got nothing in hockey and nothing in baseball. So,
Yeah, some more trades happened, but less exciting ones.
yeah, wait for the big news to happen. So, let's move into TV news. And I've got a problem because
Uh-oh.
I've got nothing to watch.
Well, I can solve that problem for you. No, I can't. I can just tell you some details about this phenomenon you're describing. The number of original series running on networks and streaming services in 2025 was down for the third straight year since a high in 2022. According to a year-end report from data firm Luminate, 1,122 shows premiered last year, an 11% drop from the 1,266 premieres in 2024. Since hitting a high of 1,695 shows back in 2022, per Luminate, the TV landscape, excluding live sports and news programming, has shrunk by a third. Broadcast networks fell by the largest percentage, taking a 21% drop from 196 shows in 2024 to 154 last year, though the latter number is even with 2023. HBO Max had the steepest drop in originals, falling by half, 32 down to 16. Paramount Plus declined by 10, 36 to 26, and Peacock just by 7, 38 to 31. Shows produced outside the US, like Squid Game and Adolescence, filled some of the gap, but imports also fell off some last year compared to 2024. South Korea supplied the most shows to the US, as Squid Game and fellow shows seem to suggest. Video on demand platforms with more than wait. Oh, US video demand platforms with more than 40. That's the end of that sentence. Sorry. It
Yes,
always
the
throws me
peers in the
off when
US can throw you.
acronyms are have periods because I think is that the end of the sentence or is there more? It's
Yes.
tricky sometimes. But yes, yeah, so that kind of explains a little bit to you, but unlike you, I actually do have a lot that I need to catch up on. We are actually watching quite a bit TV at the moment.
Ah, yes, but you see, catch up on. This is new shows in production premiering within the same year. This actually goes
Mhm.
back to what we've been talking about at the end of last year, with shows like Pluribus taking a 2 year plus hiatus, with shows like Stranger Things taking sometimes 2 to 3 years to come out. That because they don't come out,
Yeah.
they don't count towards a premiere within that year. TV's shows, especially on cable television, every year. Sweeps every year. Premiere week. That
Yep.
seems to be less and less the case, especially as streaming networks seems to dominate the landscape. That you can just drop something with 2 weeks notice, a month's notice. You don't have to have these long lead ups. So no longer are you seeing Animal Hospital at the Olympics being promoted in order for a fall premiere following it.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I mean that's why we love Gold Zone because zero commercials, all action. Even though they do try and like cross promote with other Peacock shows
Yeah.
or like other NBC shows, like Saint Denis, which they constantly do, or The
Yep.
Traders, which they
Yep.
constantly do.
That's true.
That's like where you're going to see the promotion and get that word out because they're not making a whole lot of shows anymore, or at least, yeah, shows in production.
Mhm.
But we do still manage to find the rare show here and there that we need to talk about.
We do, and you have a couple of those that you would like to discuss.
Yes. Let's start over at Netflix because this was not a South Korean game show or drama.
What, really? Wow.
Yes, I'll make it a mystery for you.
Okay.
And
All right.
Agatha Christie mystery, as Agatha Christie's Seven Dials was the name of the game in this three episode uh short miniseries. It's a
Okay.
miniseries because it's three episodes, they're all an hour long, and it covers the entire length of the book. Which, it's pretty much all you need to do to tell this kind of story. It
Hmm.
feels like they could have made it into a movie, like a Seven Dials movie, but if they wanted the 3 hours, they got the 3 hours. They just split it up into three separate episodes. So starring Helen Bonham Carter as the main maiden of the house in which the murder gets takes place in.
Hmm.
The mysterious Seven Dials is both a place, a person, and a secret society.
Ooh.
All the classic hallmarks of a great Agatha Christie novel as you delve deeper and deeper into the mystery,
Yeah.
only to uncover like not only the who done it, but the how done it as well. With several great twists and turns, it keeps you on your feet. Unless, of course, you read this novel all the way back in your college or high school days,
And then
because
you
it's
know
been
what's
around
going to
for quite a
happen.
while. Which
Yeah.
makes me got me actually when I was watching this, it got me thinking about other Agatha Christie novels and thinking that because we are in January, are these in public domain?
I don't know if they're that old. I don't know. You'd
Oh,
have to double check.
they're not that. I know the Sherlock Holmes early stuff is in there, and it got
Yeah.
me thinking that if they're
Yeah.
public domain, maybe we could get the Muppets to do a parody of one of these Agatha Christie novels, or not really a parody, but like an adaptation.
Mhm.
Because throwing Gonzo in a loop at some of these would be hilarious. So yeah, something to creatively think about. Disney, pay me my money now. But yeah, it's there. It's fun. It's interesting. It definitely keeps you on your toes. But once you like know the ending, it doesn't really warrant a rewatch, which is both like the good and bad of it. It's
Mhm.
a nice story. It's well done. It's well produced, but also it's more of like a one and done, especially if you know the twists coming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's on Netflix. If you like your murder mystery, it's worth a watch. It's worth a good weekend. It's three
Okay.
episodes. They're each an hour long.
Cool.
Over on HBO and HBO Max, we
Yes.
return now to the world of Westeros with another adaptation from George R. R. Martin, this time from the tales of Dunk and Egg.
Dunkin' Egg?
Dunk and Egg, yes. Sir Dunk the Tall and his squire, Egg.
Egg.
Of course, they're not going to call it Dunk and Egg for TV
No,
because
no, no.
who's going to watch that? Especially when you have Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Very powerful names, powerful
Right.
titles. So
Yeah.
they had to rework this. And instead, they're calling it A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Sure.
And I know what you're thinking. Oh, great. It's another Game of Thrones thing. It's
Well,
another
no.
long, dreary, over
No.
drawn out thing.
No, I know it's not quite that because I've seen the little trailers for this, and tonally it seems pretty different.
It is very different. It is almost a comedy.
Yeah, that's
There's a
the
lot
vibe I
of
got.
jokes in this.
Hmm.
It's very lighthearted in its
Sure.
taking. It's it's surrounding a tournament taking place, but also it's got this kind of feel of A Knight's Tale, where it's serious in tone and nature, but they also make jabs at each other constantly, and it feels like a very like actually like lived in experience. Well, although it's like based on books, it's not like a real lived experience,
Right,
but
right, right.
the way that it's written and the way that the characters interact with each other, it's like, heh, heh, heh. I keep laughing at both like the situational comedy as well as the dialogue comedy. And I'm like within the first like 10 minutes of this thing, you see like just straight up people talking to each other, guy talking to his horse, poop flying out his ass, as well as a smart aleck kid. I'm like, was this Game of Thrones? I'm like laughing my ass off here. It's great. It's funny. It's definitely a
Okay.
real palate cleanser from the other stuff that Game of Thrones is known for. So, if you're
Yeah.
not into the dark brooding like politics of Westeros, Night of the Seven Kingdoms could just be what you need.
Yeah, I mean, Christy and I were sort of sold with the trailers. We were like, maybe we should check this thing out, even though we don't have a whole lot of context for the rest of that universe. But maybe we don't need it. I don't
You
know.
kind of don't need it. No, they talk about the main houses of like Targaryen,
Yeah.
Baratheon in here, but because it's set 100 years prior to the start of Game of Thrones, it's just thrown in there for context, but not for
Ah,
political purposes. It's just to
got it.
give people who are aware of it more of like a ground bearings of where they are within the world, who they're kind of dealing with.
Okay. Well, good to
But yeah,
know.
it's
Maybe we'll
funny.
check it out.
I was surprised, like, oh, this is a comedy here.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about from the world of television this week?
Uh, Not this week because I'm going to be glued watching the AFC and SC championship games.
Yes, football.
But shortly after football and right after the Super Bowl happens, which we'll get to all the musical acts and who's performing on the 6th, February 6th, the
Hmm.
that we'll record before the Super Bowl. So that way you know what's
Wait.
happening, even though they're already like announced.
Yes, February 6th. Yes. I
Yeah,
had to
we'll
double
record on
check.
February 6th. We'll tell you who's playing and singing what at the
Yep.
Super Bowl. Uh, even though like it's announced now, there could be some drops. I doubt it, but we'll do all the final announcements then.
Yep.
But after the Super Bowl, though, on that weekend, the loveliest time of the year happens in Daytona as NASCAR revs up yet again. We are 3 weeks away from the start of the season on Valentine's weekend.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, look forward to that. We've got a lot coming up actually, because 2 weeks is the Grammys, and then the week after that is the Super Bowl, and the week after that, and so yeah, the ball started rolling, and during all that we'll have Olympics too, and so yeah, a lot is
Yep, and
coming
the
coming
UFL
down
is
the
right around
pike.
the corner.
So yeah,
It's
uh-huh,
still important. It still
it's
matters.
still a
You may
thing.
laugh that the UFL is like still a thing, but it's important because the kicker, Mevis, won the game for the Rams, and he was on the Birmingham Stallions, and I recognized it. I was like, yes, UFL kicker right there. They matter.
Wow, they figured out another pipeline.
Yes.
Congratulations to the NFL. All right, let's move on then into some cancellations and renewals.
What am I no longer watching?
Netflix has made some announcements about some cancellations this week, including The Vince Staples Show, which has been canceled after 2 seasons. The Abandons will be abandoned after its first season. But rejoice, somebody is watching you because Culinary Class Wars has been renewed for season 3.
Yep, this is the third season, and they've already said they're going to go into a team direction battle, much like with Physical 100. After the third, for the first two, after the first 2 seasons, they did a Physical Asia for technically a third season.
Okay, so there you go. More of that to look forward to. Meanwhile, on CBS, here they announced a whole legion of renewals. So get ready. I'm going to take a big breath. The Amazing Race has been renewed for season 39. Survivor has been renewed for season 51. NCIS Sydney, season 4. NCIS Origin, season 3. NCIS Regular Style, 24. Elsbeth coming back for a fourth season. Fire Country coming back for a fifth season. Matlock coming back for a third season. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Bleh. Let me try that one more time. Didn't take a big enough breath, I guess. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage gets a third season, and Tracker gets a fourth season. And then Hulu, not to be outdone, has announced that Shoresy will get a sixth season.
Yes, after a 3-year hiatus. Also called it on Tracker being a staple of
Oh,
CBS.
yeah,
And Georgie Mandy's First Marriage, the spin-off of the spin-off from The Big Bang Theory
yeah.
continues.
Oof. Yikes. But yeah. Well, somebody's watching it, I suppose. All
I'm
right.
still watching The Amazing Race.
Yeah, you are. All right. With that, I hand over the football to you, and you're going to talk about some video games.
Yep, and we start video games with new releases, and we got 3 on the docket today. First up,
Yes.
High Guard
Hi, guard.
for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X.
That is that X Respawn team, the game that was teased at the end of the Game Awards. This is that medieval style themed shooter. Think Overwatch with armor and horses. And that's out now.
Okay, so this isn't a stoned out crossing guard then.
No, no, no. That's a high guard with a space, and then in between this has no space.
Okay, yeah, so High Guard.
High guard.
Next up, we have Karen
No,
for the
not
PC
Karen.
and PS5.
Cairn.
Yeah, Karen.
That's a climbing
Kieran.
video game. That is a video game
Karn.
in which you climb.
Okay, so Climbing for PC and PS5. And lastly, Dispatch for the Switch and the Switch 2. Yes, it was already
Yes.
released for other platforms. This is just the Switch release.
Yep, Switch release. Heard good things. That's probably a game that you would really love. So, when you have some
Yeah,
time.
multiple endings, multiple
Mhm.
choices. Uh,
Yeah.
it's got good reviews where I saw it come out.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe I'll actually play it on the Switch instead of the PlayStation
Yeah.
because we'll get to what I've been playing.
We'll get to that. But first, we have to go through a hurricane of video game news. Why don't you
Oh
take
no,
us
don't
through
say
it?
that. Texas is currently drowning in hurricanes.
Not a that's an ice storm. That's different. But
Okay.
no, we had
No,
a
that's
whole lot.
Minneapolis.
Oh God. I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah, you did.
We don't have time to get into that, but we do have time, however, to discuss video game news that happened this week. Why don't you get into it?
Yes, we're going to start with Xbox and Playground Games as they have debuted the first deep dive into, you guessed it, the finally confirmed forever in development. Now we know what it actually is,
Mhm.
Fable,
Yes.
which is confirmed to come out for the Xbox and PC, including Steam. And the PlayStation 5 for autumn 2026.
Yes, it seems
Ooh.
like that's day and date with PlayStation, which is the first time they've done that with one of their major franchises.
And this is actually Microsoft living up to their multi-platform
Yes.
strategy.
They weren't kidding, folks.
Finally.
Hmm.
Although, Dispatch still kind of counts too. But yeah, actual like first person or
Yeah, that's not a
first party
Microsoft
studio.
Studio. Yeah, that's not a Microsoft Studios game. This is.
Yep.
That's the difference.
During during a developer direct, Playground promised British humor, moral dilemmas, and a truly open world with the freedom to go wherever players want within the boundaries of the game. Players will also be able to customize their player character and their playstyle across melee combat, ranged weapons, and of course, spells in Fable.
Yeah. The Fable series, I believe, had some highs. I think people really like Fable 2.
Hmm.
I never played it. I'm guessing you never did because you didn't have an Xbox.
I did not.
Uh, so yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about Fable, but maybe it'll be okay.
I know they made a Fable 2.
Yeah.
I know I think they made a Fable 3.
They did make a Fable 3. It was less liked.
Yes. That's why everyone likes Fable 2.
Yes.
All right. But they weren't done because we also had a first look at Forza Horizon 6 gameplay. The broadcast showed a deep dive into that sixth title, which will take this series to Japan for the first time.
Hmm.
It also confirmed the previously leaked release date of May 19th, with a premium edition offering early access on May 15th. Rather than previous games, which start the players taking part in the Horizon Festival, this time Forza Horizon 6 will start players off as a tourist in Japan, and they'll have to qualify for that Horizon Festival.
Yeah, a neat twist on the formula. I
Yeah,
think that they've made a lot of those Horizon games, so it's good to see them shaking it up a little bit. But yeah, exciting to see what they do. Those games are really, really good. They've always been a blast to play. So cool. And Japan's a cool setting.
yep, and they always look good as well. There's always their
Yes.
tech demo for whatever console they're and
Yeah.
whatever series they're running off of now.
Yeah. I imagine this will be, when it comes out on PlayStation, a great PS5 Pro showcase.
Yes. Assuming day and date release, maybe.
Unclear.
They didn't
We'll
say.
see. It doesn't say.
Yeah, May 15th is coming up soon. All right, but we weren't done because Nintendo has shared a host of new information on its upcoming Switch 2 edition upgrade for Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yeah.
The game will feature a number of new multiplayer modes, as well as new features in the main single game, including the addition of Rosalina as a playable character. Bella Bell Park is the new area hosting the multiplayer games, and its attraction central area will consist of two large plazas, the local multiplayer plaza and the game room plaza. As you would suggest, the local multiplayer plaza consists of 17 mini games set up for four players locally, sharing the same system in both versus and co-op play. The game share is also supported here as well.
Yeah, interesting moves here involving this game. It was a single player experience the first time around. And it looks like what they're trying to do is kind of inject some of that new Super Mario Brothers DNA into the experience by bringing a
Mhm.
lot of multiplayer options. It could be really cool. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I still haven't played Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, Super Mario Brothers 2 on the Switch, I think was the last time you could have multiple people on it. Of course, I'm not
Yeah.
counting Mario Maker because they do their
Right.
own thing.
It's a different thing. Also, now that I'm saying that, I don't remember. Maybe it did have some multiplayer stuff, but this is like a formal, like lots of new ways to play multiplayer, which is compelling and for people who want to have that experience. I don't personally love Mario platformers with other people. Like it does feel like more of a single player experience to me, but I know there's people out there that enjoy that kind of twist on the formula. So hey, go have fun.
Yes, you should have fun over at Super Mario Brothers because you won't be having fun over at Ubisoft
Oh boy.
because the Assassin's Creed developer has
Hmm.
detailed a quote a major reset
Major
for the
reset.
company that will see its creative operation split into not one, not two, not three, not four, but five separate divisions. And not division the game.
No.
The organizational restructuring, which has been in the works for a year, is designed to help the French publisher, quote, reclaim its creative leadership and drive a sharp rebound, end quote. This is also following the turbulent few years of disappointing game launches and its plummeting stock value, the most important number to look at for Ubisoft. Because, it was also recently acquired, well, not acquired, but a minority sale to Tencent, and they want their investment back as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
So, as a result, six games have been canceled, seven games have been delayed, and two studios have closed. The company confirmed during a media briefing. And one IP that was hit the hardest Well, not Assassin's Creed, but the Prince of Persia series.
Yes, the
Pour one out for
planned
those sands of times.
Yes, the planned second remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time has been officially canceled as part of this restructuring. We will no longer be seeing any tell of that game. Kind of disappointing, considering how long they've been talking about that thing. Also, rumor has it that the planned remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which seemed like was pretty much done, has also been canned as part of this.
Mhm.
So, interesting stuff going on if you work at Ubisoft. I'm sure there are probably plenty of stories that will be told very soon. But in the meantime, it'll be interesting to see what they do publish from here on out. Each of those seem to be vaguely organized around their biggest games. You mentioned the Division. They have a whole like Division, Rainbow Six shooter kind of division in there. Plus, of course, Assassin's Creed, and then, a few others that are filling in those gaps. Also, when inquired about, yes, I'm going to mention this game that's been in the works for a long ass time. Beyond Good and Evil 2, they swear it still exists. They swear they're still making it, even after all of this.
Yes, I mean, I hear Square Enix swearing that Kingdom Hearts 4 is still in the works.
I don't know. I feel like Beyond Good and Evil 2, I think that it's been in the works since we've done this podcast, since before we've done this
This before
podcast.
we've done this.
Yeah, whoo boy.
That was a
I don't
2013?
Do you think we're ever gonna see that? I don't know. In our lifetimes, do you think there will be a product that you can digitally download called Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Yes, but once we are beyond the current good and evil, that is
Exactly.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. So yeah, it's rough out there. But speaking of Square Enix, they had a little news bite this week.
Yes, they did, because they officially announced Reunion.
Not the
Yes, and
one,
fans
not
rejoiced
no,
everywhere, and they
no,
cried
no,
out with tears of
no,
joy as
not
Reunion was officially announced
not the one you're thinking of. A different
for Life is
reunion.
Strange. Let me finish, will you?
Yes.
Yes. The
Yes.
latest entry in the Life is Strange series will be Life is Strange: Reunion. The reunion we were all looking forward to, an announcement from Square Enix. This, of course, is being developed by Deck 9, the
Yeah.
studio previously responsible for the Life is Strange titles, Before the Storm, True Colors, and Double Exposure. The Life is Strange reunion will be the final installment in the Max and Chloe saga. So you can see how that all
Yeah.
gets wrapped up, concluding everything.
So, yeah, I have mixed feelings about this announcement, and I think a lot of people seem to be where I'm at, relatively speaking. I think this one comes with some baggage. I
Is it
like,
because it's Deck 9 and not Don't Nod?
well, we'll get there. I like Life is Strange, the franchise. I really like the first game. I liked Before the Storm, even despite its non-union voice actors and slightly weaker gameplay. I even really liked True Colors, which is an excellent game with a different protagonist, but with the same kind of vibes. Double Exposure was a game that I started and never finished, which probably says a little bit about its overall kind of deal. And even in Double Exposure, it seemed like to hint that this was ultimately where they wanted to take it, the franchise. Double Exposure had the return of Max, and you were supposed to be like, oh, okay, so we're continuing that original storyline from the original game. So since that game came out, Deck 9 had a lot of layoffs. So a lot of people are confused about who exactly is making this game. Like maybe they recruited a bunch of extra people from Square Enix. Maybe it was a all hands on deck kind of situation. And the way that they're marketing this already seems like a little off target. One of the phrases that they're using that a lot of people have zeroed in on is by the fans and for the fans, which is interesting. So, yes, obviously, people who like Life is Strange like it because of the relationship dynamic between Max and Chloe. I realize that. I'm one of those people. I really enjoyed their relationship in the first game. However, my interpretation of the first game, regardless of the choice that you're supposed to be making at the end of the first game, spoilers for the end of the original Life is Strange, is that I assumed the correct thing to do was to give up that relationship to save the town. That is the ending that I chose. To me, that is the canon ending to their relationship. Before the Storm is interesting because it's a prequel, so you get to see kind of Chloe's uh, experiences before the events of the first game happen. So that's okay. But double exposure then crosses a line, and I think a lot of people kind of checked out around that time because it actually says, "Oh, we're gonna figure out a story way to make both of those endings canon." I haven't gotten far enough into double exposure to know exactly how they managed to do that, but judging by fan reaction, it doesn't seem very convincing. And also, again, regardless of them making that canon, it still feels like it's missing the point of that game, right? Like, I don't know. That whole game to me was saying this place is important to Max. It's not just Chloe. And also, if Chloe had a choice, I really do think Chloe would also have chosen to save Arcadia Bay. I cannot imagine that she would have been like mad. Like I can't imagine. Or see, the thing is that if you do choose Chloe, the ending is very saccharine, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go off and do our own thing now," and it just feels weird that Chloe wouldn't be pissed because, like, again, that city, that town is in their DNA. It's like feels like their home, and just to be like, "Well, suck it, everybody, we're gone," just doesn't feel right. And so something doesn't feel great about this whole idea of giving them an actual ending because they had their actual ending. So I don't know. There's a lot happening here, but I don't know. We'll see how the game is.
I mean, it will be a while before that game is released,
Yes.
but it is a reunion. And like I said, between Deck Nine and Don't Nod not being involved in this, uh,
Well, Don't Nod has moved up onto bigger and better things.
yes, they handed it off to Square Enix to run with it. And as you can see, before the Storm 2 colors double exposure,
Right.
whatever the adventure of Captain Awesome was.
That was related to Life is Strange 2, which has a completely
Yes.
different story.
Oh yeah, and there's also Life is Strange too.
Yeah. Don't forget it. All right.
All right, but yeah, that's it for video game news. All
Yes.
right. Did you play anything?
No, but I saw you write this and what you have played, and I am fascinated to know what the hell this is. Because on paper, this just sounds like yet another this week's in um, free to play open world waifu gotcha machine. Is that what this is?
That's what it wants to sell you as. Yes.
Yes.
So we're talking about Batman, Arknights, Enfield.
No, there's no Batman in this. The game
When
is
you name
called
your main
Arc.
character Batman, yes, it is Batman, Arknights, Enfield.
The main character is not Batman.
You could choose your main character's name.
Okay, so Arknights Endfield is the name of this.
Yes. That's the official name if you want to go by the logo and the posters and
I
want
mean,
to search it up on wherever
yeah.
you want.
Yes, that is what I
Arknights
wanted to do.
colon
Yeah.
Enfield, based
Uh,
off of spin-off of
uh,
the Arknights brand, the
mhm.
tower defense game, which I also downloaded
Okay.
and played a little bit of, just sort of in preparation of what the hell I'm going to get myself into because it's a tower defense game, but Enfield is not a tower defense game. So yeah, Arknights mobile tower defense game. Your different characters are leveling up and helping you progress through the story. It is a gotcha system, and it's pretty much what you kind of expect out of a gotcha system,
Yeah.
out of a detail oriented. You got to put your guys in the correct place in tower defense style, and
Yep. 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 One of
get the
those.
3 stars. Makes sense. Our Enfield, however, I'm just gonna call it Enfield from here on out. Just don't talk about Arknights Enfield. Um, Really interesting and captivating. I can tell you jack shit about the story, but I can tell you very much about the mechanics of trying to optimize the hell out of my factory.
Okay.
So, you know how you kind of sold me on Infinity Nikki, and I've been playing that pretty much ever since.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this may top that finally. I may have found a game that
Oh.
I am very interested in. And much like Infinity Nikki, I could care jack shit about the story, but it gives me pretty straightforward missions. And like, okay, do this and do that. And like, there's a lot to do, not just in daily grinds and daily missions, but also it's a kind of a slasher too. It's an action slasher. It's a
Mhm.
factory setting. It's a resource driven game. It's kind of whatever you want it to be at this point, as long as you're, following the tutorials, getting through the
Yeah,
missions. Like I said, um, I kind of skipped through a lot of whatever this thing is
yeah.
because you wake up with amnesia, although you are like the administrator, or sorry, end
End
administrator.
administrator. I saw that. Yeah.
Yes, but you're the admin basically, or the endmin as they call you.
Entenmann's. I love their chocolate covered donuts.
Yes.
Quick
Uh,
question about the combat. You mentioned that it's kind of a hack and slash kind of thing.
it is a hack and slash.
How does it feel though? Because I don't love how Genshin Impact feels. Is it better?
Uh,
Does it feel better than that?
a lot of it's auto play
Oh,
because you can press and
mhm.
hold a button,
Yeah.
or on their phone or mobile or computer or wherever, and it will automatically do your full combo. So you have to press, 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 press. But it does allow for your other four members in your party to charge up their ultimate attacks as well as use the stamina bar for their plus attacks as well.
Okay, so it sounds a little bit like Zenless Zone Zero.
Yes, it is kind of similar in that way. It does have the gotcha system where you're
Hmm.
pulling for different characters, but it does also give you a lot of free characters, enough to where you don't
That's
need to
good.
pull.
Are they
There's
all
actually an event.
women?
No, there's a
Okay.
panda in there.
I've okay, let me rephrase. Is it all women and animals?
No, there's a guy in
Okay.
there as well.
Okay, because
I
yeah,
thought that it might be that way, so I made my
yeah,
my main character the guy as well.
yeah.
I should just be
Yeah,
like, just
because
have something different on there.
I did not see any men in any of the footage that I saw, is why I'm asking.
Oh yeah, well, your first main party fills out with all women and waifus, but then before you get to the next area, they introduce another guy, so you can have him on your team as well.
Okay. How's the busy work? You mentioned like there's a lot of like resource gathering and stuff. Does it feel a little bit like, these games typically do, or it's just like, ugh, I feel like I'm gonna have to do this forever to be able to craft anything that's worth crafting?
Yes and no. It will feel like that in the beginning
Sure.
until you level up your city structure and get to auto mining. And that's where the fun begins
I bet.
because I kind of forgot about going to the story, even though I know I want to at least get to the next like open world and section. But as soon as it gave me the ability to auto mine the different
Yeah.
ores and resources, I forgot about doing the main mission and was strictly to going around to where I've already been and mine the crap out of everything and
Very
optimize
nice.
everything. And it's clicking something in my brain of like, ooh, now I want to make sure I have infinite resources going around and around and around all the time. Oh, wait, you want this gear? Yeah, let me just craft 5,000 of this first, and then I'll give you your 10, and then I'll continue on the next mission. It's,
Good to know.
and then you can expand it, expand your resources. It's got me sucked into this world where I watch tutorials how to optimize my own location, how to. Oh, also, there's kind of a black market style attached to this where you can sell your resources to other players. You can buy them at a low cost and sell them at a higher cost to other players
Uh-huh.
for additional resources and income. And it's weird and interesting and very gamey, which I haven't really touched, but also seen other players do. It's like, yeah, No,
It's a
thank
bridge
you.
too far. Yeah, that's a
That,
little
that,
bit of a
that's
bridge
that's the
too
bridge too
far.
far for me, where you're
Yeah.
purposely buying low and selling high.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the turnip market from Animal Crossing, but with
Yeah,
other people.
I see people describe it as that turn up from Animal
Yeah,
Crossing.
fair enough.
So
Okay.
I've not really delved into that side of it, but everything else, I am like all over this map, trying to find everything, trying to do everything before I move on, and
Hmm.
it's getting me the same way Infinity Nikki did, where I just want to go and do everything and reach that end, so I'm all caught up, and then whenever the new event drops, I'm all revved up and ready to go.
Yeah,
Um,
but Infinity Nikki without the fun costumes.
what do you mean? It's Infinity Nikki, but with actual combat. That's the fun part, and the enemies
Yeah.
respond.
But again,
No,
though,
it's
does
fun
it
combat.
feel fun to fight? Because I don't think Genshin Impact or Zenless Zone Zero feel that great.
It's fun
So
optimizing the team.
that's different. That's strategy. I'm talking about moment to moment, like hitting people. It doesn't sound like you're selling me on that, which is going to be make it or break it for me.
Well, it's not like you're doing Hadouken performing multi combos here.
No, but it does at least feel like, I don't know, like Kingdom Hearts? Like, give me something. Like,
I
do
mean,
you
yeah,
feel like
it's
it's
a hack and
connecting?
slash.
But but is a good feeling one of those? Are you looking
Yeah,
forward to
because
combating?
in the combat, you're trying to make it so that you get enough stamina to hit one of your characters, because then that skill will hit another character because auto activates, and then another character that auto activates, and then another character that auto activates, and then you get around and round and round it goes.
Well,
It's optimization in combat form. It's optimization in resource farming. It's optimization in this black market that I'm not touching. It's optimization in the game.
yeah, I don't know if I want optimization in the game.
Well, then go back and finish Infinity Nikki because you stopped like 4 months in.
I know.
There's a
Well, I don't know.
there's a new
It's
behemoth Infinity Nikki that you can get and train and raise up, and I've optimized the crap out of that thing too.
yeah, I bet you have. Well, I don't know. You may have convinced me to at least try it, so I might download this thing and see how it feels, and maybe uninstall it if I don't like it.
I mean, yeah, it is a free game. It is free to play. Uh, I I don't want to say like give it an hour, but like I said, I completely ignore whatever kind of macadamia bullshit story they're kind of throwing in here,
Fair enough.
and just going straight to like, oh, like because like you can skip it, it'll give you the summary of like what was said. Like, okay, I
Hmm.
get it, sure. Yeah, you are like you're the main character here. You're going around trying to uh provide resources and basically become Shinra. You're optimizing and reaping the rewards of the planet to make better gear, to craft better materials, to improve your own stature, to basically capitalize the shit out of this planet, Talos too.
All right.
And that may end up being the actual end game is that you're just Mr. Monopoly colonizing, capitalizing off of everything that this
Yeah.
planet has to offer. But at the same time, unlike Final Fantasy, which is weirdly the second time we've brought this up in a non-Final Fantasy story, that it's it it hits you in the optimization feels. It makes me want to like streamline everything. It makes me connect everything, and it also has this really kind of offshoot of Death Stranding, where the so far, I've just talked about the single player, but there's a multiplayer aspect to this, and you can copy other people's builds in their factory and paste as long as you have the resources. You can
Mm.
find other notifications, kind of like Dark Souls, of people those that people leave. It's like, oh, like, hey, go over here. Like, it's around the corner, or you need to do this, which
So
is really helpful too.
it's a strand game.
A little bit, yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, the Free Nikki does that too,
Yeah, a
but
little
I
bit.
ignore those as well. But yeah, no, there's a little bit of something here that all comes together that makes me want to continue playing this game.
Fair enough.
And I keep forgetting to actually stream it because I go back and forth between my phone and like playing it on the PS5.
Sure.
Uh, so I will stream this, so you will see like me completely. Well, I probably will just like stream the main missions, but
Yeah.
I will, in my own time, go off and find an ore spot and start optimizing it and trying to drag it back to my factory to get it pumping.
All right. Well, I look forward to more feedback, and yeah, I might give it a shot just to see what this is. Does your main character have to have this mask on their face, or can you take that off?
Both the
In
male and
footage.
female characters need to have the mask.
They have
Yes.
to have the mask?
Yes.
Well, that sucks. All right. Well, I'll think about it. All right. Let's move
All
on
right.
into the final section of the show.
Yes. In the music section, start the music section with the Billboard. Start the Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land is the hottest man with the hottest pants in Bruno Mars. I just might.
He just might.
I just might. By
He
Bruno
just might.
Mars. Yep, that does mean at number two is The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift. At three, still, is Golden by Huntrix.
Academy
Sorry,
Award
Academy Award
nominee
nominee Golden.
Huntrix.
Yes.
Yes.
At four, Man, I Need by Olivia Dean. And that does mean dropping down to number five, Ordinary by Alex Warren.
Yep.
If you don't like any, sorry, then we have the Billboard 200, the albums chart.
Don't skip the albums.
I can't, well, I kind of want to because at number one is Heaven on Top by Zach Bryan.
Yes.
At two is The Problem himself, Morgan Wallen.
Mhm.
At three, The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. Coming in at four, The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift. And rounding out your top five, K-pop Demon Hunters, the soundtrack by Media Boat favorite various artists.
Yep. All those artists in their varied ways.
Yep. If you like any of those albums,
There we
we
go.
do have new releases
We do.
today. You can go out and listen to How Did I Get Here? By Louis Tomlinson. World's Gone Wrong by Lucinda Williams. Megadeth by Megadeth.
Hmm.
Self debut album, although not first debut album,
Just
self-titled
self-titled.
album.
Yeah.
Yes. We also have Empty Hands by Poppy. Boycott Heaven by The Format. And lastly, Somebody Tried to Sell Me a Bridge by
How'd
Van
that go?
Morrison. I bet it was Taylor Swift selling that bridge,
Maybe. She probably owns one.
or several. She's
Or
great
she's
at
written
building
a lot.
bridges. She's written a
Yeah.
lot of bridges.
She's written a lot of bridges. Let's talk about some of that writing that she's done.
Well, I would, but then have to pay her royalties because Taylor Swift is joining a really prestigious group
Yeah.
alongside Alanis Morissette, Kenny Loggins, Christopher Tricky Stewart, Paul Stanley, and Gene Simmons of Kiss, Terry Britton, and Graham Lyle, and Walter Afanasieff of the newest members of the Songwriters Hall of Fame, class of 2026. Da, 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 da.
Exactly.
Yes, Taylor Swift enters the hall as its youngest female inductee ever, and second youngest overall, only next to Stevie Wonder, who was submitted for entry at the ripe old age of 32.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is a little bit older because you never talk about a woman's age, not even if she's 36.
Fair enough.
You know, you just go 1989 plus whatever year it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, Stevie Wonder did it when he was 32 and received that honor in 1983.
So yeah, it's been a while, I guess, since someone in their 30s has been nominated to the Hall of Fame. But hey, if you're going to do it with anyone, it's going to be Taylor Swift because similar to Stevie Wonder, she was kind of on fire in the last in like the third decade of their lives, both of them. You could probably say, well, there's a lot of parallels actually between the music that they were writing in that age range. So there you go. Congratulations to Taylor. Also, congratulations to the other names on this list. There's some pretty heavy hitters here. I'm glad to see Alanis Morissette also honored here. Not necessarily somebody you think of as like important songwriters, but just think about that catalog for a second and be like, wow, she really is talented at writing lyrics. So yeah,
You know,
not a
the
not a
voice of a
bad class
generation.
for sure. So yeah, good to see. Good news.
Yep. Kenny Loggins, I'm shocked to see here, as well as Gene Simmons in Kiss and
Well,
Paul Stanley.
songwriting is not just lyrics.
Yes.
I think is the explanation there.
Right. And unlike other Hall of Fames, there is really no set year of how long you have to be in the business
No,
before being inducted. Looking at
right.
you, rock and roll in your 25-year wait list.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
congratulations. Your ceremony will be held at a later date.
okay.
All right. Did you listen to anything, or are we good to wrap up here?
No, I believe that will do it for the music section, and that will do it for this week's edition of the Media Boat Podcast.
Wow, we did hit 90 minutes.
We did, just barely, but yes. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll, of course, be back next week for way more. But in the meantime, if you want to catch us in video form, you can do so on our YouTube channel. Just search YouTube for Media Boat Podcast. You can also find us on podcast services like whatever podcast service you use by searching Media Boat Podcast. No, we're not going to be on Netflix. A video talk show is not a podcast, Netflix. Stop it. Anyways. We are also on the internet at MediaBoatPodcast.com. Twitch.tv/MediaBoat is maybe where you can see Mike playing some Ark. What the hell is the name of that game?
Arkham Knights.
Ark Arknights Endfield. Terrible name. And so look forward to that. That's twitch.tv/MediaBoat. You can also find us on social media. We're on Blue Sky, MediaBoat at Blue Sky, or wait, at
BSKY.
MediaBoat.bsky.social. I got there eventually. And you can email us at mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com if you would like to ask us questions, give us feedback, or anything like that. We'll read your emails on the show. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week for even more. Next week will be our Grammy predictions episode. So strap in for that.
Yep.
In the meantime, we'll see you.
We'll be back with Grammys. We'll be back with who will play in the Super Bowl besides
Mhm.
Bad Bunny. Not against Bad Bunny, but against
No.
each other.
Yeah.
As well as more news, more thoughts, and more of us.
All right. See you then.
Okay, bye.